Okay, kiddos, so today is Tuesday, February 22nd for you, and we are going to be talking about slope applications today. So today's date is 2/22/22. Happy Tuesday. I'm so sad I am not there to spend the day with you guys. But in the meantime, while you guys are here in class and I am down in Florida, we are going to have you guys be doing slope applications today. So we talked about the slope formula. Fourth period, we talked about it Friday, or no, we talked about it Thursday, and fifth period, we talked about it on Wednesday. So now what we're going to do is we're going to figure out how do we apply those things. So it says the table below shows the height temperatures in degrees Fahrenheit of a city during the first part of June. So I have my dates up here and I have my temperatures up here. So remember, these are going to be ordered pairs, and this is my X and this is my Y. So it says find the rate of change in high temperature between June 1st and June 6th. So this tells me my 2 days that I am going to be looking at. So for this problem, we are specifically going to be looking at these 2 points because this is June 1st and this is June 6th. Well, those points then, for the first, I have 1,72. And for the 6th, I have 6,76. Well, we all know our slope formula by now. So it's m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And I always like to label these, remember, so that way I know which ones I'm plugging into where. Okay, so y2 is going to be 76. So I have 76 minus 72 over 6 minus 1. And then 76 minus 72 is 4. 6 minus 1 is 5. And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and divide those out. And when I divide those out, you're going to get 0.8. And it's so important that we have a label on this. So this is degrees a day. So that is how our temperature is changing for this problem. Okay? So that is what we are going to be doing on here. So then if we look at the next problem, it says find the rate of change in the temperature between June 6th and June 8th. So now what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be looking at this temperature change from June 6th to June 8th. So that would be those points right there. So I am now going to have 6,76. And I'm going to have 8,84. Okay, so I have x1, y1, x1, x2, y2. Now go ahead and you use that slope formula that we just used here. So y2 is 84 minus y1 is 76 over 8 minus 6. So then I have 84 minus 6 is 8 over 2, and that equals 4 degrees per day. So now what it's asking me to do is it says, during which of these time intervals did the temperature rise the fastest? So I am looking, if it's the fastest, I am looking for the greater number. And the greater number between A and B would be option B. So it'd be the temp rose faster between June 6th and June 8th. So you can just put the 8th. because between the 1st and the 6th, it only rose 0.8 degrees every single day. But between the 6th and the 8th, it rose 4 degrees each day. So what I would like you guys to do right now is I want you to pause this video, okay? I want you to pause this video and I want you guys to try example 2 here, okay? So I want you to pause it and try example 2 and see what happens then. Okay, so now you should have paused your video and we are going to go through now this problem because you should already have it done and you should be now just taking this time to check through your problem. So it says, Josh started a diet and decided to record his weight every other week. Find the rate of change from week 0 to week 2. Okay, so week 0 to week 2. So that's this first one right here, week 0 to week 2. Okay, my first point then that I have would have been 0 to 24, because at week 0 he weighed 224, and then 2, 219, because at week 2 he weighed 219 pounds. So again, I'm going to go x2, y2, x1, y1, and I'm going to get m equals 219 minus 224 over 2 minus 0. So I'm going to get then negative 5 over 2, and that equals negative 2.5. And that's, he lost negative, so he lost 2.5 pounds per week here. So that's my rate, that's my slope for that week. Okay, well now it asked us to find the rate of change from week 2 to week 4. So week 2 to week 4. So now I have 2, 219, and I have 4, 221. Go through, m equals 221 minus 219 over 4 minus 2. So you should have gotten 2 over 2, which that simplifies to be 1, so it would be 1 pound per week. Well, since this one was positive and this one's negative, this is when he was losing weight. Now between weeks 2 and 4, he gained a pound each week then. Okay? So now what it's asking me to do is it's asking me to find the rate of change from week 4 to week 6. So now I have week 4 to week 6 here. So I have 4, 221, and then I have 6 and 215. Some of you also, that might have come up, is you're like, how do I pick which point comes first? You always go in the order that they give you the graph. So the week 4 comes before week 6, so that is why week 4 is my first point. Okay, so now I have m equals 215 minus 221 over 6 minus 4. So when you subtract those, you should have gotten negative 6 over 2, and this would have been negative 3 pounds a week. So now this means that Josh, between the weeks 4 and 6, he lost 3 pounds a week. Okay? Finally, on this problem, we have find the rate of change from week 6 to week 8 and explain what it means. So our last one is week 6 to week 8. So I have 6, 215, and I have 8, 215. Okay, so now that's going to give me m equals 215 minus 215 over 8 minus 6. And that's going to give me 0 over 2, which 0 divided by 2 is 0, so it's 0 pounds per week. Well, now it asked me to explain what this means. Well, what this means is that the rate of change is 0. So the rate of change is 0. So he didn't lose any weight this week. Any weight these weeks. So that's what that means there. Okay, so that is if we have some tables and numbers and what we have to do there. So now what I'm going to have us do is I'm going to have us flip this over, and we are going to look at this page right here now. So now you see we're given some graphs, and we have to figure out what are we doing with these graphs. So it says the graph below shows the number of miles driven after each hour of a road trip. So now letter A, part A of this problem, is to find the rate of change from 1 hour to 4 hours. Well, for 1 hour, if you look down here, it says hours on the bottom. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find my 1. So my 1 would be right there on my graph. So for 1 hour, where do I have a dot? I have a dot right here. So this is going to be my first point for 1 hour. So for 1 hour, I'm going to get 60 miles. So for 1 hour, I'm going to have 60 miles. Okay, well then let's look at that for 4 hours. Now we need to find our point for 4 hours. Well, our point for 4 hours is right here. And I go until I hit a point which would be right here. So this is 4, comma, move over, look on the y-axis, and that gives me my y value of 160. So that's how I find my points on a graph, okay? Now all you do is you use your slope formula again. So m equals, and then I'm going to have y2, which is 160, minus y1 of 60 over 4 minus 1. So I'm going to have 100 over 3, and when I divide that out, that's going to give me 33.3 repeating, so I'm just going to put that repeating symbol there. And I have to make sure I have a label, so this is going to give me 33.3 repeating miles per hour. So that would be my final answer right there. Okay? Now, what I have is it says that I need to find the rate of change for 8 hours and to 10 hours. So I need to find on 8 hours where am I at. So 8 hours, I am right here. I go up and it crosses this point right here. So I have 8, comma, going over. So this is 360 and this is 460. Well, you see, what is our graph counting by? It's counting by 60s. So in between here, I'm going to have, or it's counting by 50s, excuse me. I'm going to have 410. Okay, so I'm going to have 8, comma, 410. So I have 8, comma, 410. And then I need to know what is it for 10 hours. So for hour 10, I'm right here. For 10 hours, I am going to have 10, comma, and then I go over, and that's at 460 right there. So I have 10, comma, 460. Okay, and then I'm just going to go through, and I'm going to use my slope formula now. So I'm going to have m equals 10 minus, oops, sorry. I started doing the x's. You're going to have 460 minus 410 over 10 minus 8. That's going to give you 50 over 2, which is going to give you 25 miles an hour. So there is that rate of change. okay? Well, some of us might be thinking, well, why are these different rates of change for the same graph? Well, when you have a perfectly straight line, that is when it has a constant rate of change. But when you see our line is slanted here and then it increases a little bit, then it slants out a little bit more, those are all different rates of change. So it's changing at different rates. So that's why it's different. So what I want you guys to do right now is I want you to pause the video and then I want you to try 4, A, and B on your own right now, okay? So that's what I want you guys to be doing. Okay, so now that you are done with that, what you should have done is found it, so find the rate of change. So make sure you're watching this after you did the problem so you can see if you did it correctly. So I have my year 2000. Well, my year 2000 is right here. And at year 2000, I am at this point right here. Well, if I go and count, this is going to be 62 because my graph, because I'm counting by, what, 2s? No, 4s, sorry, 4s. You're counting by 4s, okay? So I have my first point as 2000 and 62 is going to be my y. And then I need to find my 2004. So I have 2004, comma, so 2004 is right here. That goes, whoa, all the way up here. And since I'm counting by 4s, this is going to be 78 right here. So then my y value is 78. Okay, so make sure you have that down. Now go through m equals, you should have had 2004 minus 2000 over 78 minus 64, and that equals, I got mine backwards. What did you guys see that I did wrong? These should be flip-flopped. I flip-flopped my x's and y's for some reason. Your x's always needs to be on top and your y's need to always be on the bottom. So if I have it flip-flopped correctly, this is going to give me 16 over 4, which is then going to give me 4. So it's 4 feet a year. Do not make the mistake I did. So this one, this needs to be flip-flopped. Okay, don't make that mistake. Okay? Now for the next thing, what you're going to do is I'm going to have 2012 to 2016. Well, for 2012, so I'm going to have 2012, comma, 2012 is right here. That is at that point 62 again. Okay, and then 2016 is right here. So I have 2016, comma, I go over. I know I am counting by 4s now, so this is 46. And now I'm going to do this the correct way this time. You should have y2, so you should have 46 minus 62 over 2016 minus 2012. And that's going to give you, where am I at? Negative 16 over 4. So that's going to give you a negative 4. And that's going to give you a negative 4 feet. So you are losing 4 feet a year in this one. The water, we are losing. So that means it's getting more shallow. Okay? So there we have it with a graph. Now what's going to happen is we have a few word problems, okay? So it says that Ava started a savings account with $500. After 6 months, her savings account balance was $731. Find the rate of change. Okay, well for this one, if she started a savings account, there's no time with that. I'm going to find 2 points that have to do with this problem. I'm always going to be trying to find 2 points. So I know I have $500 and I have a time. Well, the starting point for a savings account is 0. No time has passed. So after no time, she's put in $500. Now it says though, after 6 months, she now has $731. So after 6 months, Ava has $731. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to find my slope. M equals y2, so 731 minus y1, which is 500, over x2, which is 6, minus 0. So I'm going to get 231 over 6. And when I divide that out, that's going to give me $38.50 per month. Okay? So that's how you do those problems there. On all of these, if it doesn't give you two numbers, that means your starting point is going to be 0. So when I would go through, just to help you find the points that you would start with, on number 6, your 2 points would be 0 and 36,000. And then your second point would be 12 and 29,400. For number 7, you would have 10 and 98, and then 25 and 272. And then finally, on number 8, you would have 2010 and 16,200. With that matches up with 2016 of 13,824. So you see on this one, I don't have a comma written. Normally you're not going to want to include commas in your thousands numbers because you have a comma splitting up your two numbers. I forgot to do that here and up top there, but you notice I did it on the second ordered pair. So it's kind of optional. Then again, on these ones, you would just be using that same m equals y2 minus y1. Okay, so now that you are done with notes, you are going to go ask Mrs. Erickson, who is your sub, for the worksheet. You're going to show her that your notes are done for the day, and you are good to correct your assignment or get it done, and we'll correct it tomorrow. Happy Tuesday, everybody.